So years ago, I decided that I wanted to own my own business, and I found a company that franchised in the United States, and I loved it. And so I got involved with this company and did that for 10 years and realized that I loved franchising. So after doing that, I got involved in a food franchise, which became a multi-unit operator. And from there, I loved the industry and sold those. And then at the next point, I was like, what am I going to do? When I was searching for the next food franchise to get involved with, I had a contact at FiRE+iCE, and I started learning about the brand and the company. And looking at all aspects of it, I just figured the model works. Just from food costs to labor costs to just ease of operation. It was something that resonated with me, and I rolled up my sleeves and jumped in.
So the history of FiRE+iCE, it started actually over 20 years ago, where the founders of the company, they had been to other locations where there's similar concepts. You've got like Mongolian barbecues that you see. And they were there and they saw how people enjoyed this type of stuff, but they also realized that maybe everybody wasn't into that type of food. And it kind of hit them that this was an experience that people wanted to have, but it was a food offering that not everybody wanted to eat. So they went back to Boston, where they were from, and they opened the first FiRE+iCE. And the first FiRE+iCE immediately was a huge success, right? So they took that same concept of being able to create what you wanted and really spreading it across all the demographics, all the different age groups of people, and incorporating different food items so that everybody could have what they wanted to eat, and everyone could have the experience that they wanted to have.
So one thing about being in the franchise business years before getting involved in FiRE+iCE, what I did realize when I learned about the brand is that there's nothing like FiRE+iCE out there. There really isn't. I mean, it's a concept that is good for all different demographics. One thing I did recognize that was different about FiRE+iCE is a lot of the stresses of the day-to-day restaurant business was less than, like the labor costs, the labor turnover isn't as great, just because of the fact that we can offer servers and bartenders bigger sections, and they can make more money, everybody can make more money.
My employees here, they love this place because it's a fun environment. It's a good place to work. They have a nice schedule, and they make a lot of money here. Customers, they live happy, and they live always, most of the times, extra money for them. So that's why they're happy here. In the past, when I was working for different restaurants, we fire people because they don't handle the pressure. They can handle the stress because they have to take orders a la carte. And here, the customers, the guests, they make by themselves the food. They prepare their food. So my servers, my bartenders, they have to suggest only drinks and appetizers. So that's easier than in other restaurants. Here, you have to pre-bus tables. You have the time to talk to the people, to be friendly. So that way you make more money.
We are working right now to grow FiRE+iCE all across the US. The model they have is streamlined. This is something that if you are already an investor or you have restaurant experience, this is genuinely a turnkey model. I mean, you're looking at an average top line revenue in our restaurants of over $3 million with an over 40% gross margin. And that's crazy in the restaurant industry. The other aspects of restaurants that typically scare people away, there's extremely low turnover rate. I've talked to people that have worked at FiRE+iCE locations for 14 years. People make more money here, they're happier here, the customers are happier here. It's just an environment, and you'll hear us say over and over and over again that it is an experience that everybody wants to come back to.
We have a labor matrix that is really concise and profitable. We've got our food costs and ordering to the point where I think we're really competitive in terms of the industry standard. You know, it's a fun environment to work. The fact that we've kept a lot of our staff for years and years, you know, speaks a lot to the operation and to the business itself.
One of the greatest things about FiRE+iCE is that you can be entertaining all of these people and have a completely full front of house. You see all the people around the grill, the entire grill is going, and now come and look at what's happening back of house. So typically with a restaurant, when you've got 60 people in the front of house, the back of house is going to be complete pandemonium, right? You're going to have servers running all through the place. You're going to have all the line cooks. You're going to have food coming up. This is what the back of house looks like with FiRE+iCE when you've got a front of house full of 60 guests. You've got a prep cook back here doing some prep for dessert. You've got another prep cook that is getting things ready to put out in the market. And that's about it. You've got 2 people back here. You're gonna have the occasional server that's gonna come back and be getting drinks for people. You're gonna have a dishwasher, but it is absolutely nothing compared to a typical restaurant concept as far as back of house goes. So you can start seeing how our labor numbers are so much lower. It's possible to really have a business that has crazy margins when you're doing a ton of business.
So one of the driving factors when I found FiRE+iCE was that, you know, looking at the model and the fact that the margins could be so good, so great. You know, we're working at a margin over 40%, a gross margin over 40%, which is unheard of. I mean, it's tough to get that in the restaurant business. I know because, like I said, you know, my years of experience, and so when I saw that, the potential of FiRE+iCE, that's really was one of the deciding factors of me getting involved.
I had worked a lot in the food industry, and there's a lot of pitfalls, there's a lot of downside in working with the food industry. But once I saw the locations and once I actually went and experienced what they were doing, I quickly realized how unique this concept was, and it was just incredible. It blew me away that there is nothing like this out there. In franchising, it is a bunch of reruns. It's a bunch of people that are saying, well, we're gonna make a better burger, or we're gonna make pizza different, or we're gonna do Mexican different, or we're gonna do whatever in a slightly different way than how our competitors are doing it. And at FiRE+iCE, we're not doing that. We're not competing with anybody. There is genuinely no one out there that's doing what we're doing, where we can check the boxes of every demographic, of every food type, of vegans, of vegetarians, of people that want burgers, of people that want pizza. I mean, it's all there and it's available. And so when you walk in here and you see the crowds that are here and you see the smile on people's faces, you quickly realize that this is a genuine experience. It's more than just going out to eat. This is a special place where people can go and really enjoy their food, enjoy watching their food get cooked. They can be in control of the situation, and the energy of the environment is just contagious, and it makes you want to be a part of it.